Good morning. It's just gone 10 o'clock. Sorry for being tardy this morning, but we're just discussing what we're going to do next on Wow Ergonomics. So it's me, Graham Coath, and Stephen.
Hello.
How's your week been, Stephen?
Yeah, pretty good. As you can probably tell, a little bit nasally. I seem to have come down with a cold stroke, whatever it is, brought home from school. So I think I hadn't had a cold for about 18 or 20 months with the kids being in and out of school and whatever, or being at home. But back a week and a bit, and the first cold has been returned to Howe, as it were. So yes, suffering a little bit, but I'll be all right. Not too bad.
Yeah.
So
I had a little one the other day, but it's another reason why I'm continuing to wear a mask around the kids.
yeah. Yes.
Not out in public, but just around the kids, so that I don't get their colds. Because they were coming home with their colds left, right, and centre, and I've got so many kids. Yeah. So it's just like, Dad, why are you wearing a mask in the house? I don't want your cold, thank you very much. And it works, you know. Yeah. So there you go. Maybe all of that money that we've spent on masks, we should maintain our masks for that. Now we start each week now with a little game.
Yeah, we do.
You and I have both been in this field of ergonomic products for a little while. Me a little bit longer than yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Now I couldn't, in all honesty, with you having a cold, make you wear a scarf this morning.
No,
so I've decided that I'm going to do it. I have brought in a special guest to help. Right. And we've just had a chat with him. He says he doesn't even know what ergonomics is. So that's great. Because that makes it even better. All right. So I'm going to bring in the wonderful Paul Delaros. Here we are. Paul, thanks for joining us this morning. Good morning.
Not a problem. I'm here to learn something.
There you are. Paul, because you know we like to do blatant plugs for people. What's your day job, sir?
I'm a voice actor.
Yeah.
And you can find me at delaros.com for any of your voiceover needs. I don't talk like a voiceover all the time, but I can,
you can see that.
I'm just in an advert for Los Angeles right now, and I'm a bit croaky this morning, so I'm shouting this morning.
Oh wow! Do you go into voices at home? Is it something that you've always done? Is do voices?
I've always been gobby and a bit of a show off. Yeah, I work on stage in a comedy umpire show as well. So
right.
So I've got I'm always on stage or doing something, but I've got a little 1-year-old daughter, and I talk to her in different voices. I'm on a cartoon at the moment on Nickelodeon, and I play the main baddie as long as various other characters up to a 13-year-old boy. So I practice different sort of accents and different voices all the time. I drive everybody mad.
Right. Well, Stephen's got a question for you in terms of voices this morning. What was it? What was it, Stephen?
I wondered, Paul, as a nod to the late great John Chalice, is there any chance you could describe this item a la Boise? Is that in your repertoire?
That's putting me on the spot a little bit, isn't it? I mean, I do some impressions, but I've never really done it. I did meet him. I was lucky enough to meet him once.
Okay.
Lovely guy. But I'll try, but I don't want to do him any injustice. There might be a lot of fans that are heartbroken at the moment.
Yeah, no, true. What's your favourite kind of voice then, Paul? If not,
my favourite. Well, I like doing baddies.
Oh, actually, why don't we go for a baddie? Yeah. That would be great, wouldn't it? Describing it as a baddie. Okay, I'm going to put this on.
Okay.
And I'll tell you when I can't see anything.
I've even bought a sparkly jacket just in case I was doing game show stuff.
Oh well, yeah, we'll put the sparkly jacket on as well.
I'll put the game show jacket on.
I'm going to have to watch this back later now because I
like to be prepared. You see. Bear with.
Oh wow!
Get it on now over my shirt.
For anyone that's hoping for some serious ergonomic discussion this morning, you're getting it.
Well, I just knew I was being asked to come on and do some sort of game show thing.
Well, it is really.
Yeah.
Right. I've got it caught. Right, there we go.
Oh, we just haven't got the conveyor belt with the cuddly toy on it yet. But
that could be next. That could be next week.
You don't know what screen I'm sharing yet, Graham. It could well be.
That could be it. It could be a cuddly toy.
Okay, there we go.
Right. Okay. So I have not shared the screen before when we've done this. So let's have a go. Here we go. Share screen.
I probably need to.
So
without looking at what the screen is, I probably need to do that. Is that now on the screen?
Paul, can you see it on the screen?
I can see something on the screen. Yes.
Yeah,
Right.
good. Right.
Over to you then, Paul.
All right. I'm just. And do I have a time limit, or am I just going?
No. We're just well.
Just keep going.
We've got an hour.
Fair enough. Right, in a baddie voice. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I can see something flat. It looks like it's made of plastic. You could put it on a desk, possibly, and place things on, mainly to work with. Would it come in handy? Who knows? You could slide your papers, perhaps, underneath, while working on this ingenious piece of equipment. It could be cheap or expensive, depending on the make and model, and it looks like it can be angled to help you with your posture. Get a better viewing angle depending on where you use the product on top of this.
Is it a document holder?
It is.
Oh,
A bit more specific, possibly. Can you be more specific as to the when you got Media of the Week on the chair? You wanted a bit more information. So come on.
Okay. Okay. So is it color-wise? Is it silver?
It's kind of see-through.
Ooh. It's kind of see-through. Is it?
It would possibly be about 1 foot by about 1.5 feet wide.
I love this voice. Oh my
Marlene?
word.
Yes, Marlene.
Does it have a sliding top?
Who knows? You cannot tell from this picture. If it does, I will fight that sliding top.
This is the best advert for one of your products ever, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Right. So it is one of your products.
Is it?
That was cheeky. That was.
Yeah.
I will come and track you down. I will find you, blindfolded man, and send in my sentinels.
Is it?
Can I talk normally?
Is it a flex desk? Is it
a flex?
Is it a flex desk?
It is a flex desk. Is it the 630 or the 640, Graham?
It's a 640, isn't it?
It is the 640. Well done, Graham. Boom. If you hadn't got that, though, I would have been hugely disappointed.
There you go.
The award-winning flex desk.
What?
I should have wore a white shirt, though. I'm sorry. I feel like I've let you down.
No, not at all. Not at all. So what's the rest of the week hold for you, Paul? Have you got many other gigs this week?
I have, yes. I've just been having a conversation with my. This sounds really showbiz, but I've got a new agent in Hollywood. And
that just sounds brilliant.
It's really cool, and they've just contacted me about a massive show that they want me to be a lead in. So I'm really excited. I'm really excited this morning. And my agent for games contacted me last night with a new character for a big game. So I'm working on those today. And
those are really. I mean, that gives you more street cred than anything these days, isn't it? Being a big character in a game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in a few. I've been in a couple of BAFTA-winning games, which is quite
which
is good. But I gave a copy of one of the games that I'm in to my nephews.
Yeah.
So my girlfriend's sister keeps going mad, saying every time she walks past the door, she can hear me screaming and shouting, and I'm not even in there. I'm just on the game, and they're playing the main character as me.
So do you have like those? Do you have those photos, like autograph photos, where it's like you on one side and then the game character on the other?
No.
Yeah, maybe you should.
Get some, though. I'm going to
that would be great.
That plastic ergonomics thing printed on the back and say, you might have seen me on this.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So can you explain to me what it is, what that product is now?
Yeah, we will do. I'll let Stephen do that.
Yeah, so basically it's called a flex desk. So it's a document slope. The idea is, and the whole sort of principle behind ergonomics is working in a straight line. So if you're working with paper, rather than having the paper to the left and the right of you, you position one of those under your monitor and in between the monitor and the keyboard. So basically the papers are in between the screen and the keyboard, and you're working in a nice straight up and down line rather than going side to side. And that's what creates and causes neck and shoulder and back problems. It forces you to work in a straight line, and it's got the slide on the front. So if you're working, say, people are in legal departments, You can bring it forward, you can make adjustments, and you can push it away. So you're not stretching to make the changes, you're bringing it towards you. So that is what a flex desk does.
Or actually, Stephen, or people that are doing voice acting and working on scripts.
Absolutely.
Because you can have your script there right in front of you, but you can push the script away and then type a little bit and then pull it back again.
Well, yeah, you could if you're doing alterations on a script. Yeah.
And
that's what it would be. So yeah,
you position yourself in sort of line with your monitor to talk.
Yeah.
When
exactly.
you're in your booth. So yeah, could come in handy for voiceovers. I will pass the word around.
Paul, I'm sure we can sort you one out. So why don't you, if you send me or Graham, if you can send me Paul's details, we will get one over to Paul.
Drop me your address and we'll get one over to you, Paul.
Yeah. It was stopped because as you were saying about things that were other side, I was like, I've got papers everywhere.
Exactly that. Exactly that.
Nothing in front of me.
Yeah.
See, exactly that. And we don't want you, we don't want, because actually, when you think about it, from a vocal point of view as well, if you turn your head, you restrict your vocal cords.
Totally. Yeah. It's really important. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good to say your posture is really important when you're projecting. That's why I stand up in my vocal booth, sitting down and doing voices. Like then I was leaning into my mic, but my mic in my vocal booth is angled sort of down in front of my screen. So I can just look where I'm going. And so it makes perfect sense. So yeah, it does. It is in a line. Do you like what I did there with voice actors as well?
Nice.
Do
Good.
you know
there
what?
We go.
That's brilliant, Paul. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for doing this morning. It's been an absolute pleasure. If anybody needs a voice actor, you know now where to go.
They do.
Hollywood.
Add me on LinkedIn. Have a look.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Do that. Because that's what it's all about. That's what LinkedIn's for.
And you'll listen out to random adverts on TV and go, I'm sure I heard him speaking, but it sounds a bit potter. You lose my Brummy twang when I'm doing the adverts.
That's brilliant.
Thank you very
Paul,
much.
thanks very much for joining us this morning on Wow Ergonomics. Bye for now.
Cheers, guys.
Bye.
Have a good day.
You too. Brilliant.
How cool was that, eh?
Hey.
How cool was that?
And the fact that he recognised himself instantly that he needed a flex desk because what we described, the problem that people are experiencing, hey presto, he's got notes over here, he's got papers over there. There we go.
I'll tell you what, that literally is. That's the best advert ever.
Absolutely.
There you go. Your marketing department will be now, why didn't we think of that? Voice actors.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh dear. Oh, apparently we've got, Odessa's been listening, we've got a bit of echo on us. I can't hear any echo.
I wonder if it's now Paul's dropped out, Odessa. I wonder if it's gone. I wonder if it was his sort of
it may have been.
mic, possibly.
It may have been. I love this as a comment this morning. Peter, I buy 10 of these just because of Paul's voice.
Oh, fantastic.
There you go. Paul's watching us now. Thanks, Paul. Oh, the show goes downhill from now on.
Yeah. I tune out.
You've been and gone.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that the wonderful Odessa will be joining us soon.
Yeah.
Hopefully she will, and she will appear on the bottom of our screen and come on. Before she joins us, we've got a great story that we wanted to cover this week.
Yeah.
You want to share screen again?
I do. Let me just find it. Hang on. He says moving things around. There we go.
Yeah, be careful you share the right thing.
What are you saying, Graham?
I'm saying you kids don't want to know what they're getting for Christmas. Right.
Is it this? Can you see what we need to see?
There we go.
There we go. So this is actually, talk about hot off the press. Over here 21 minutes ago. So that article has only just come out before this show started, but it was all about
coffee.
Absolutely. So Pret, who, if you remember rightly, actually cut a lot of staff when the pandemic started, are now talking about 3,000 new staff as city workers return. So again, this article's on the BBC website under the business section. Really interesting piece. Graham, we were just discussing before, they are identifying Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursdays as the busy days that they're seeing. So again, are people doing that traditional weekend wrap of working at home on a Monday and Friday, and then everyone sort of piling into the office on a Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday? So that was really interesting. They're looking to open more shops. And the one thing that was really interesting that we were sort of kicking around before was actually where they're looking to open more shops. So if you just look down here, they're talking about train stations, bus stations, and motorway services. And you were quite intrigued by the train station piece, weren't you?
Well, I am at the moment, because I just don't find, from speaking to people, and maybe I'm wrong, and maybe people can tell me that this isn't the case everywhere, but train stations and public transport just doesn't seem to be busy at the moment. It seems to me to be the roads that are busy.
Absolutely. So you can understand the motorway piece. The train station's an interesting one, because I think whether I commented on the show last week, I think I might have done, but I was out and about last week and found the roads particularly busy, not just at normal commuter times, but during the day. And looking around, a lot of it is down to single occupancy cars. People reluctant to get back on a bus or maybe get on a train are in their car. So actually, the whole sort of benefit of working from home with less people on the road is actually sort of backfiring, because all those people who are going into the office aren't using the public transport. They're actually taking their own cars. So yeah, interesting. Understand the motorway piece. I'm slightly surprised by the bus and the rail piece, unless they know something that we don't.
Yeah, no, for me, unless there's been an offer on the table in terms of empty spaces at railway stations or bus stations because of other people pulling out at some point, and there's a good deal on the table to re-inhabit those spaces, I just don't understand it at this moment in time.
Yeah.
I'm sure it will happen with time, but the confidence at the moment in rail and etc. just doesn't seem to be there. And everybody seems to be traveling from one place to another on the road. So
yeah, absolutely. But yeah, interesting again, those type of days. We were just discussing it in context of something else, but Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays looking like they're the days where people will be back in the office and almost leaving that weekend wrap as their sort of home days. Now, we're only just in the start of this return, so that could well change, but it would be what I would have expected, the middle days to be busy and the weekend wrappers to be, slightly quieter. Or I guess if generally people are working part-time or 4 days, they generally would have a Monday or a Friday, would be that sort of non-working day, I guess.
Now, clearly, I can't speak with any kind of authority on this subject because A, at the moment, I don't go anywhere.
Okay.
And B, I don't really eat sandwiches.
Okay.
At the moment, I'm on a biscuit diet.
Yeah.
All right. But somebody that maybe knows a little bit more about this, because she does get out and about, is my friend and partner, Dessa, the Brave. Oh, I like that. Why you're the Brave today? Is this because you come on here, or is this because of the haircut?
Well, it could be both. But mostly because I've been running around this morning trying to buy replacement trainers because my husband put our daughter's Clark's ones in the tumble dryer. And would you believe, I know, this is not a first offence. So I really thought that in his learning journey, he would have realised that by the third time of doing it, that when the instructions were very clear as well, do not put them in the tumble dryer, that he would have put them in the tumble dryer. Trainers are very popular at the moment. I've been to 2 supermarkets.
I did put my wife's favourite cardigan in the tumble dryer once. And my daughter now wears it.
Who's 7?
Yeah. It looks great on her.
Yeah.
She loves it. But my wife's still not happy about it. So, a little tip for all of you out there today. If you're not sure what you can put in a tumble dryer, just don't do it.
No.
Please do not put trainers.
There's so much work to do. I don't have time to go around looking for trainers.
Oh my word! Well, I shared a little picture during the week on my story of the Lidl's trainers. Did you see that? Anybody?
No.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
I did.
Lidl's are selling Lidl's trainers. So if you remember from last Christmas, Lidl's did Lidl's Christmas jumpers, but they didn't have like reindeer on it. They basically had like Lidl's.
Okay.
In the Lidl's colours. Lidl's are now doing Lidl's trainers, and they basically are their Lidl's colour with the Lidl's logo on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder how they're selling.
I wonder. all I did was post it and said, "Would you?"
I'm just imagining the reaction of my kids when they came home from school and said, "Got you some new trainers? We've not gone Nike or Adidas. We've gone Lidl." I got a feeling
it's got the same amount of letters as Nike.
Yeah. But that's where it
like,
ends.
Yeah.
But I come from the era of, are you weren't allowed to have stuff in a Netto's bag or a Lidl's bag? Like, it was shameful to ever associate yourself with the supermarket. So it still makes me cringe.
Yeah.
The thought of wearing it.
Peter thinks that I might be right, by the way. Peter thinks it might be based on the actual real estate price.
Right.
So,
Okay.
And that Pret sees some deals there. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah. Because you say on an operational perspective, as us looking in, it doesn't seem to make too much sense. But there will be more intelligent people than us, Graham, and I'm it's surprising to learn that those people do exist who would be making those decisions.
Yeah. Well, it also depends. There are people that are still using.
Yeah.
There are people that are still using train stations and bus stations, etc. And it might be that if there's no competition there, then it's open competition.
Yeah.
There may be enough there. So, you've been out on the road much more than me lately. In terms of places to stop, etc. Do you think it makes more sense for Pret to be at motorway service stations?
I hate Pret. I wish they disappear off the face of the planet, to be perfect.
Other sandwich shops are available.
Okay, but and let's not have a go at Pret.
I'm not being funny, but who's that? There's Pret, and who is it? Which is the bank that we always seem to dig out? We're
HSBC.
No, it was Goldman Sachs, wasn't it? For their 100-hour weeks or whatever.
Whenever I've been in Pret, I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed Pret. No, yeah. I mean, when I used to drink coffee, I used to love their flat white. It was good. But
can we ask why Odessa? What's your beef with?
I mean, I'm in a ranty mood, so be careful, like how much the lid you lift off. But it's pretentious crap. Can I say crap? I've gone there anyway. It's a little bit like Marks and Spencer's food, but I feel like Marks and Spencer's have learned or have earned the ability to be high class. And what I find really funny, because I used to work above both a Pret and a Marks and Spencer's, and you do take longer to choose your lunch because you don't quite understand the ingredients.
Yeah.
Like normally you just get like a salmon and cream cheese, but then you got salmon, cream cheese and horseradish, and now suddenly you don't know if that's really what you want to be eating because you've ruined the combination, or they've added spicy salmon as opposed to just normal salmon. And the very fact, by having such intricate details of the description, just means that you lose more of your lunch break deciding what to eat.
I think this is
and I wasn't that impressed.
No, you see, I think this is the difference between different types of people. You see, for me, I just look at it and go, "Yeah, that looks posh. Eat it."
Yeah,
I'm not worried. I'm not worried about what's in it.
I do like the way that you said pretentious crap and then pulled out a salmon and cream cheese sandwich. I mean, had you gone ham and cheese, but then you pulled out a pretentious sandwich yourself, you've sort of shot yourself in the foot with that one.
Yeah.
Well, yes, there is the potential. I mean, if you're going to eat well, eat properly. But what I mean is that if I'm paying for a sandwich, I just want to eat the sandwich.
Yeah.
And I want the flavour that I want. I don't want loads of added. Is it on wholemeal or what? I don't care. Pack the sandwich, give it to me, make me pay an extortionate amount a month for it so I can get back to work. I don't need.
I bet you're fun in the subway queue, aren't you?
No.
I'm
not fun in any queue, Stephen. Like, I'm just.
Wow.
Fun is a very loose term to describe me. I'm not going to
lie. So if you'd like to see Odessa in a slightly better mood.
You know what?
Then you can come along to the health and well-being event.
In brackets, we cannot guarantee that you will be in a better mood. Close brackets.
Some assembly required.
This is your first event tomorrow, Odessa, is it not?
Well, I mean, I've done lots of networking events, but it's my first one for us.
Yeah. What are you most looking forward to?
Meeting lots of new people and facilitating some partnerships. Actually, I'm terrified, but that's because that's how I feel about most networking events.
Oh, really?
And I do
well,
lots of networking events.
Yeah, well, ours is not a networking event to be terrified by.
No.
Stephen, who's been there many times before, I think can put your mind at ease that it's actually a fairly laid back affair.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what everyone says. So it'll be an experience for all.
Just remember to bring your own salmon and cream cheese sandwiches. They are not supplied as part of the event.
But in all honesty, it really is. And I think actually that is the problem for a lot of people with network type events, is actually they feel that they need to rock up to that event and perform and you know, have their little pitch ready, do their little bit, you know, to push their company, etc. I don't feel that we ever have that at these events. It's so much more.
It's the waiting around. It's the time wasting.
We don't have any of that.
Well, yeah, I know. And it's being stuck with people that you're never going to work with.
Yeah.
Mostly
there's a way around that. Just basically exit the virtual room and say, "Oh, sorry, the internet connection went down."
Yeah, but again,
you're doing that every week for one person. They start.
You're raising some very good points, and again, though, that's why we do these events in Remo, is so that we've got all of these little tables.
Yeah.
And actually, if you're not feeling the vibe from the people at the table that you're on, you can just leave that table and move over to another table, and there's still something there at that event for you. And that for me, I totally agree. That for me is the issue with these ones on Zoom or whatever, where you get put into a room with one person.
I've had some really awkward conversations in a one-to-one room about someone's bird because he's not allowed to have cats or dogs as a rental, and the complete history of rhodesia, and also it was a very uncomfortable one.
What kind of network events are you going to? We need to have a serious conversation about this.
What's worse though is that normally, you know, like when you go to a room, you're like, 10 minutes, that's not enough time. You always inevitably get caught in that last mid-sentence. This one, like 10 minutes felt like 10 years. I just wanted the ground to swallow me up. I was like, how have I been this unlucky? And there's only so.
Was it genuinely Rhodesia, or did he say Zimbabwe, as in the new terminology?
No, he wanted to start with Rhodesia and then explain
how it became Zimbabwe. Yeah.
I mean, that's only because I noticed the flag behind him. Otherwise, he didn't. It was like he'd never spoken to another human being before, and it was just so painful that I just asked about the flag. And I'd rather him talk about that than nothing at all.
Well, I have a very simple answer for any kind of I don't go to network events like that anymore. But if I had to do that, then I have a cardboard cutout of myself, and I just literally slide that in and then go off and do something else, and just leave the cardboard cutout there.
More productive, wouldn't it, Graham?
It would make them much more productive. If you would like a much more productive networking event, please do join us tomorrow at 3:30. Now, you do need to register first, so just to get this across to everybody, I always get a lot of questions about, you know, is there going to be a recording? Can I join in at the last minute? Can I just press the link? It's not quite as simple as that, because it is in a different platform called Remo, and it is much more interactive. Yes, we probably will record the main speaker. We can't record all of the wonderful interaction that's going on. And you do need to register. So just in the same way that you would register in something like Eventbrite or anything else as well, if you go to our business page, www.abetterwayoflife.co.uk, you can book your ticket there by registering in Remo. So there's a link. Do the Remo bit. That will get you into the event. If you've just been to our business page and clicked, I'd like to go to that event, but don't do the Remo bit, you won't be coming.
They done the first step.
I'm being inclusive. There you are. There's the website address at the bottom, abetterwayoflife.co.uk. So what's the rest of the day hold for you, Nadessa? Not that I don't know, because I've got your diary.
It's really nice to say that we communicate clearly.
Yeah.
That's a very good question. I've got a meeting after this. Then we've got to talk about the website. And we're going to stay on task this time. And then I've got another one after that. And then I've got to inevitably go and get my small people.
I love getting the small people.
I hate getting small people.
I don't do that anymore. He takes a key now. He doesn't want to be picked up.
Oh, right.
All right, don't rub it in. That's a really sore point, Stephen.
Sorry. I mean, it's 4 years old. Okay, to walk home with and let yourself in. It's okay, isn't it?
It depends if the school's right next to the house. Maybe, literally backing onto the front door. But
he's 10. I'm only joking. He's 10. Yeah. But now, no, the school run's a thing of the past. I'm afraid.
Wow, that must feel quite liberating.
Yeah. I'm gonna go and sit in a dark room now and just mourn.
Yeah.
That's
there we
really
go.
harsh.
Oh, yeah. Now, Graham, can I ask for Odessa's opinion on something? I said I had a conundrum.
Be careful.
Okay, so working from home yesterday, I'm on a call. The doorbell rings.
Yeah.
Now, my son who's off poorly and my wife who's working upstairs don't hear the doorbell. So the guy couldn't be bothered to get up, probably. So that happens. So I then get a text message from DPD saying they rang the doorbell. I've missed a parcel. I need to rearrange it.
Oh.
Concern here is it a scam? So do I forever not get that parcel? Or do I risk pressing the link on the text message to my phone that then could cause massive problems? What do I do?
Phone DPD. Phone
the courier. My opinion. You had your turn.
Sorry.
I mean, it depends on the tenor of the message, if there are any spelling errors and that sort of thing, because phishing ones are quite easy usually to point out.
Yeah.
If they did in fact ring the doorbell and you heard it, I would assume it's legitimate.
Yeah.
And I would just click the link and hurry up and get the parcel. Or, make your wife take the risk so that she can deal with the spam as a result of not getting off the sofa.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, she was working. Yeah. My son was on the sofa.
Right. I mean, I'll allow it, but somebody else's problem.
I know, but it's one of those ones where don't I? What's the parcel?
Can I give you a bit of advice there?
Yeah,
Check the email address. If it says Bob at General Inquiries,
it's a text message.
Oh, it's a text message.
Yeah, but sometimes it recognises it and says the company name at the top.
I'm just checking it as we speak. Info: we are unable to deliver your parcel today. Doorbell unresponded. Factually correct. Please book a redelivery.
Yeah. Well, Peter says choose DHL in the delivery terms.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh well, we'll just never have a towel rail for forever because that's what I suspect it could be. A new bathroom towel rail. We'll just have to cope with what we've got.
I would just follow the link on the message.
Yeah.
Personally.
Thank you for this, Peter, by the way. I'm going to bring this back to a semblance of order. Question is, are we still commuting in 10 years from now? As we do today, or even do we commute to work at all? So Prep might look to settle themselves into local co-working spaces. Who knows? We've said that before. We actually thought that Prep might go into local co-working spaces.
There was talk of them partnering up with someone like Tesco's, wasn't there, Graham? We did this about 3 or 4 months ago. There was an article that someone was going to partner up with a likes of a Tesco's or a Sainsbury's and open up almost a concession cafe in a supermarket that's in a urban sort of area. So again, it's interesting.
There you go. It may happen.
Just anyone other than Brett.
Yeah.
As I say, we're begged to differ there. Quite like them. Yeah.
Although to be fair, Graham, us
bigging
up Superdry last week never got us any t-shirts. So are we wasting our time bigging up Brett?
Yeah,
and the revelation is Tim Horton. Have you got a Tim Horton near you? The drive-through, the Canadian drive-through.
No.
I've got one. Flipping awesome.
Oh.
Flipping awesome. Go. Coffee is better than Starbucks, which is a big thing for me to say because I love Starbucks. And you can get a grilled cheese, and actually it's cheaper to buy a meal deal than it is to buy a coffee for your breakfast. So it's like £3.40 for a coffee, but if you get a grilled cheese, it's like £2 instead. They've got There's something wrong with their method there, but I guess if you don't want a meal, you pay more for the coffee on its own. But that was awesome.
It's a bit of a drive to Milton Keynes for us, though, Graham, isn't it? For a grilled cheese and coffee.
I'll just make my own.
It was a really good grilled cheese, though.
Yeah.
And I like cheese. So
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Graham's frozen.
Oh, we've lost him.
Oh, we had a moment there.
Yeah.
I'll see you later. if anyone wants to come and see me and Nadessa and Stephen, we'll be at the Health and Wellbeing event tomorrow. Okay, bye for now.
And if we're not there, we're at Tim Hortons.
Yeah, we are.
Grilled cheese.
That's probably true. Actually, we probably will be.
Should.
See you later. Bye, Dessa.
Bye, Dessa.
Bye.
Cool. Cheery today.
Never heard of Tim Hortons, have you?
I never heard of a Tim Hortons. No, never heard of a Tim Hortons. Now we've got something else special today. It's a fun-packed, massive show today. We've now got a special interview with Nick Arnold from Ergochair, and I pre-recorded this one yesterday or the day before. Yeah. And it goes back to what we were saying about the fact that there are more people on the roads. So this is a new ergonomic product. This won't be coming out until late November.
Okay.
All right.
In time for Christmas.
In time for Christmas. Oh, very good. So this could be on the Christmas present list.
Yeah. Let's
just have a look and see what he's got to say. I'm joined by Nick Arnold from Ergochair today, and we're going to have a look at a new product which will be coming out into the market from late November time, I believe, which will be launched at the OT show, which is the 25th and 26th of November.
Correct.
So, Birmingham NEC. So thanks for joining me today, Nick, to talk about this new product, Ergo Driver. Now, as someone that's conducted assessments with people that drive in cars and or vehicle assessments in the past, this seems to me to be a very needed product. What was the inspiration behind producing this product?
The actual inspiration that behind this particular product came from a conversation with a very large motoring organisation who had a problem with regards to drivers suffering quite severe discomfort to the point that they were taking time out of work. These drivers obviously spend literally all of their time in the cab on the road, and they could be driving anything from a Berlingo type small van right up to low loaders which recover lorries. The issue that they had was that they needed to get a solution which provided more back support for the drivers for quite specific issues with the back, either in the lower back area or between the shoulder blades, neck and shoulders. And as a consequence, they'd approached the manufacturers who were, whilst they were able to do it, the cost of it was very prohibitive. They were talking upwards of £2,000 per vehicle seat. The big issue was, though, that these drivers are not driving the same vehicle every time. So consequently, they would need to either have something that was able to adapt to any driver, which again was probably looking even more prohibitive, or something which was portable. Now, we'd supplied this motoring organisation with specialist seating for their offices for people who have back issues and the like, which is hence the reason that we were talking to them. And basically what we've done is transferred the technology from our regular seating products into a portable device. And then we've worked hard to understand the dimensional aspects of vehicles, as well as the best way to actually make these, attach these to the driver's seat, so that they're safe to use. And I'm very pleased to say that, having undergone quite strenuous trials and product development, we've not only ticked the box with all 12 of the vehicles that they run, we've expanded that list to over 30 vehicles now. And that goes from fairly sort of entry-level hatchback type cars used for runarounds to quite high-end executive vehicles, as well as a lot of commercial vehicles. So I'm fairly confident that what we're looking at here is a universal solution.
Yeah, well, as I say, as someone that's done a lot of vehicle assessments in the past, I don't think a lot of people realise just what the cost can be of an outcome of a bad assessment in the vehicle, or an assessment in the vehicle where the assessor is left with no opportunity to them, or no adjustment available to them, other than to say, well, actually, this person's got to change vehicle because this vehicle as it stands at the moment isn't suitable for requirements because of issue A, B or C. And despite the fact that you can say, you know, this person may need to take additional breaks in the same way as they would in the office, and may need to stop periodically and take a walk around, etc. If the vehicle hasn't got the adjustment itself, as you say, adjusting that to the vehicle means the whole seat coming out and a whole new seat going in normally, which is very, very cost prohibitive. And normally it would mean the end of that rental agreement for that vehicle and then needing to be switched on to another vehicle. So any kind of solution that allows you to move easily between one vehicle and another and take an adjustment with you is great. So what are some of the features of this that make it different maybe from some other car seat type cushions and adjustments that people have seen in the past?
Sure. The important thing to note is that it's a very recognised problem. Back issues and car seats and long hours. They're not a great mix, and it's been around forever. The real problem is, though, that virtually every attempt that I've been aware of, and we've researched this quite thoroughly, has been centred around providing extra support in the lumbar region only, and the net effect of actually providing any sort of support in the lumbar region has meant resolving one issue potentially, but the depth of that effectively pushes the driver along the seat and shortens the seat pan, which creates another problem, not only in the seat pan area, but also potentially above the lumbar region. So we've actually looked at this quite holistically in respect of, we're very familiar with the sort of problems that people get sitting all day long in chairs, which can exacerbate or even cause problems with static loading. So the first thing is that we've incorporated both pressure relief and also support into the product. If I can just open the back of this up, hopefully you'll be able to see that the inside we have a layer of memory foam. On top of that is a cool fresh fabric, which is a very scientific fabric. It's actually produced in the UK. The idea is that it gives ventilation and it also stays fresh as well. So for people who are spending long days sitting against it, it's actually treated to maintain that freshness and, as I say, the ventilation. Inside of that, we've got a layer of memory foam which provides a good element of pressure relief. So anybody who's had surgery on their lower back and or has any slight element of misalignment with their back may have areas which actually push into the back, and create a pressure area. So it is designed to resolve that. And then inside of the unit, we actually have a Velcro pad which runs across the whole of the surface. I think you can see there's already an air cell in there, and the air cells that are supplied with it have a hook and loop system. So what we can do is actually position the air cell wherever it's required. So that can be moved at will, and any combination of air cells can be put in there together. And this simply zips up and tucks down. So there we have it taking up approximately 20 millimeters. But when you sit against that, obviously that will compress. So whereas more conventional and items that have been around for a while could potentially be moving you 4 to 6 inches along the seat, we're talking about it affecting your seating position by less than 20 millimeters.
Yeah, and you don't get that awful thing that you do with an awful lot of cushions that are designed for supporting the car, where because the cushion is sitting into a particular part of your back, that slips, and then you're in the middle of trying to drive whilst trying to relocate said cushion into an area, and then really trying to use your weight against the cushion to hold it into place.
Exactly. I mean, most cars will have an element of kidney support, which means that the back isn't actually flat on the seat. It does have this sculpted effect. And the issue with actually putting anything across that and strapping it onto the back is that it tends to go from the furthest point forward to the furthest point forward, leaving a gap behind.
So it's loose.
Yes. So what we've done with this system, we've worked on a strap system which enables it to fit virtually any seat. As I say, we've got about 30 seats that we've tried it on, and those can be big lorry seats, which tend to come all in one piece. The majority of vehicles have headrests. And if I just spin this round, hopefully I can show you the way that this works. At the top here, we have a strap which is designed to go around the neck support or the headrest, and that simply clips together.
Yep.
And then what we have here is a single clip and two belt straps which feed down the back of the seat and through underneath, coming up into this V shape. And if we just flip that there, and by tensioning this, what we're able to do is to ensure that the straps which are mounted here and here on the bottom actually pull that right in, so that we're actually taking up the natural profile of the seat that it's being fitted to.
Yeah, that's very clever. I mean, actually, it reminds me, the only time I've seen that before is actually in children's car seat technology, where it, and that's past rigorous testing, obviously, to be safe for holding a child in place in a car, where the substructure, depending on the size of the child, is held in place to a fixed back. Yes. Through that same kind of system. But I've never seen it before in a system that's designed to give support for an adult in terms of particular back issues. So that's really quite different.
Yeah, as I say, the salient point of it is that it fits securely. There's no slipping around of the backrest. In fact, it essentially becomes part and parcel of the seat. It doesn't interfere with any function of the seat. The actual seat belt connector is still very accessible, so there's no issues with that. And of course, you can use this in the passenger seat as well if required.
Yeah.
So it's not just for drivers. Something that viewers may not be aware of is the thoracic cell, which I've just spoken about. I'll just fish that out of here. This is a trapezoidal shaped cell, and this can be placed anywhere within the backrest. Conventionally, it would actually go between the shoulder blades, and this actually works in conjunction with the lumbar support, which puts the natural curve back into the lumbar region, encouraging people to sit upright. And this actually encourages people to roll their shoulders back and lift their head. So it helps to overcome round shouldering and tiredness, which people tend to get on long journeys. In a situation where somebody has perhaps a slight twist on their back as a result of a deviated spine, what you can do is place this to one side to actually give you more support behind the less dominant shoulder. And similarly, they can be used either side of the back to give kidney support where perhaps somebody has had recent surgery on the spine in the lower part of the back and doesn't want any pressure there at all. So the kit itself can be used very, very intuitively. And we are working with assessors, professional assessors in occupational health and occupational therapy to actually market this product and make them aware of what the capabilities are. So it's not just a back support in its traditional sense. It can be something that can really help people who have got severe issues.
Yeah.
We sell thousands of chairs to people during the course of a year who have back issues, and the majority of those drive. And they often quip that if only they could take their chair home with them, or take it on the train with them, or whatever. Well, now they can.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Do you know what? I've done it myself, and I don't think a lot of people realise, quite often how much support they need between the shoulders. And I've tried it before now with a good type of lumbar support in the back of a car, and then ended up having to have a D-roll pushed down my back and trying to keep it into place. You just can't do it for any length of time because it's, as you say, it will slip and slide all over the place. But that's the, you can kind of try and make yourself comfortable for 5 minutes and understand. So having a system like that where it's static, but the adjustment or the overall seat is static, so that actually you nothing's going to move, but you can then move those inflatable lumbar supports to exactly, or inflatable supports to exactly where you need them to be is fantastic. I thought we'd leave it there.
Yeah.
What did you think?
Great product. I mean, I remember about 10 years ago, like you, doing a lot of, I wasn't doing the big miles you were doing, but a couple of years doing high 20s, low 30,000 miles a year. And I was getting really bad sciatica. And I went to see a sort of a physiotherapist, and her office was next to a supermarket. So she said, and this looked ever so dodgy at the time, she said, come with me, we'll walk around the car park and look in at everyone's seats. And she was, we were peering in through car windows as if we were casing the car, but she was pointing out the different positions that people had their seats in and said, you can see why people get the problem. But she recommended exactly what you said, Graham. There was wedges here, there was D-rolls there. It was just impossible to drive that way. So that's a really, really interesting product that Nick's brought out. You've got to be a bit cautious with things. I have to say, if that product does what it says on the tin, that's going to be a really, really big success. Really big success for them. Yeah,
I think the whole area of driving ergonomics has just not had enough impetus put into it, and the difficulty has been, as I say, as someone that's carried out those assessments for drivers, is that there's been very little choice in terms of what you do. It's so costly to either change the car for somebody because the car isn't right in the first place. I mean, I would say as well with that, if you're getting a car and you have a pre-existing back condition, do a proper road test of the car, not just 5 minutes around the block. It's not about what the car looks like or handles like for 5 minutes. You need to try that car over different terrains and drive it in the way that you would normally drive it for a little bit. So you need to get an extended, maybe a month's rental on that car first to make sure that is the kind of car that you need.
Yeah.
But also, if the existing car seat doesn't have the adjustment, in some vans or in some cars, that seat can be taken out and a different seat with more adjustment can be put in, but it's expensive.
It's right what you said though, Graham. The problems I had were with a German car with 3 letters. And the problem with that is whilst it was a very nice car, the seat adjustability was so basic that I could not get it in. And I think actually after about 6 weeks, 8 weeks, I gave the car up and had something else because the chair just could not be adjusted for me. And that then created the problems with the sciatic issue. So as you say, it's absolutely right. That a whiz round the block, 5 minutes up the local A road to see how quick does it do 0 to 60. Yeah, it's all very well, but you've got to sit in that. What about when you're sitting in traffic jams when you're doing 4 or 5 hour journeys? You've got to do a little bit more than that. So what you said there's a really interesting point. But I mean, I think that'll be a really, really successful product, tying in with what we were discussing earlier around lots and lots of single users because of concerns over public transport, there's more and more potentially cars on the road. So more and more people are probably being exposed to issues that they've never had before. If they've previously sat on a bus or a train, they've probably been fine. But now they're getting exposed to more and more time in the car. That creates an opportunity and certainly more interest and demand in that product.
Yeah. I mean, trains, planes, and automobiles, they all come with their own particular ergonomic issues, especially, but actually a lot of the time with trains, if you have to stand up for bits of it, that might be the only time during the day you stand up. So actually it probably helps the muscles that you don't often use, and that might be the one time of the day that you do actually stand up for a period of time. The other thing I would throw in as a little bit of advice for anybody out there in terms of car ergonomics, and if you're looking at a new car, do take heed on this as well. Not only is the adjustment in the back of in the seat itself quite important, and the comfort of the seat, do look at the pedal position. Now, you would think that the pedal position in a car is a standard, but it clearly isn't.
Yeah. So
do look at just how high the clutch is, for example. Is it a really stiff clutch, etc. The telephone went, and so did the dog.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
He will be back. Hopefully, he's back.
The dog's gone to attack the telephone.
Yeah.
So if the clutch is very difficult to push, and you're doing a lot of runaround traffic where you're going to do a lot more clutch work, then you really need to think about that, because that is quite often where you're going to get twist of the pelvis.
Yes.
Because one leg is up most of the time compared with the other leg, so your pelvis is twisting, etc. Also, just think about where those pedals are positioned. In some cars, you'll find that as you sit, the pedals are very straight on to you from your pelvis down in terms of alignment. In other cars, they are offset.
Yes.
Again, sometimes it's a more sporty model where they're offset, and you might be tempted to think, oh yeah, I'm an exec, I want the sporty model, I want this. But actually, again, sitting with everything slightly off kilter for a long length of time, you've only got to get onto that 6-hour journey where it was meant to be 3 hours, but the traffic holds up and you're in that position for that length of time. You do that on a regular basis, you're going to start having problems. So, and again, if you've got pre-existing conditions like sciatica, etc., just think about where your sitting position is in that vehicle. Again, it's not great. It's not necessarily comfortable advice for people to hear, but maybe the more low position type, sporty type car isn't the right thing for you. It may well be that you need to go for something where you are sitting more at right angles. Yeah. So the whole vehicle is higher up. I used to get a lot of feedback from people that go, oh, what, you want me to drive a people carrier? Well, yeah, if at the end of the day it's going to help your back,
absolutely.
If it's a choice between being able to drive comfortably or not drive at all, then that's the only option. Stephen, we've covered so much today.
We have. We were a broad church today, weren't we, really?
Yeah, absolutely. And we've done a whole hour. I know we said we might keep it short because you're not feeling overly well, and thanks for persevering today.
And apologies for the regular use of the handkerchief stroke tissue throughout the broadcast for anyone who's watching it. So
it's fine. It's going to happen at this kind of time of year. Yeah. Do join us at the Health and Wellbeing event Stephen, myself, and Odessa will be there tomorrow, depending upon when you watch this broadcast, or it might have already happened. But if you are watching this on Wednesday, then it will be tomorrow, Thursday at 3:30. You can get your tickets from betterwayoflife.co.uk. Hi, dog. You can come back in again now. And we'll see you again next week. Bye for now.
See you next week.
Bye for now.